Hey, there we go. Good morning, y'all. Super pumped to go over this video here. We're going to talk about the Paprika Effect. I'm going to get into how this right here can hurt your business. In fact, take it down completely. There's been plenty of times where a misuse of the Paprika Effect has actually affected us, but also has given us a lot of leverage in other times. So I'm going to go over the pros and cons of the Paprika Effect and what is this exactly. The Paprika Effect is a cog in the wheel of your machine that you've built that, if unfixed or unnoticed, can actually at best create a lesser version of the potential in your business or just destroy it. So this is the Paprika Effect. An example of this would be like baking a pie. Right? And if you go to bake a pie and every single step is right, but the problem is, this is where it comes from, you add a little too much paprika, that pie could deflate, that pie could taste awful, and you could have done every single thing right, which is the segue into how to leverage this or watch out for this, which is tracking in your business. A lot of business owners do not prioritize tracking in their business or know what to track in your business, which I'm going to share with you what those things should be in this video. But this Paprika Effect could end up hurting you because you could be making, and maybe it sounds like you, maybe you're making decisions right now in your business based on emotion. And maybe every day you go into your business and you say to yourself, like, I think we should change this because. And that is a huge red flag. And we've been through that over the years as well, by making decisions based on how we feel, based on our intuition on what we see, rather than strictly numbers. Okay, so I'll give you another example here. There's a saying, what you don't know won't hurt you, or don't fix what's not broken. But the reality is, just because you know that you need to turn your blinker on to reduce the likelihood of a car accident does not mean that you are safe if you do not know what a blind spot is. If you don't know what a blind spot is, then you're going into, driving, being unaware of something, and that lack of awareness is what ends up hurting you or getting you in that car accident. And you think you're okay because you've got great skills or you've got a blinker, right? So other people should just know, right? You know how to handle sales calls, you know how to be able to work with team and build culture and all these other things. But if you don't know tracking, you have no true visibility around leading and lagging indicators that move your business forward. This might seem like a boring topic to you, but I promise you, as we go through this, you learn to master this, and you're going to avoid a lot of problems in the future. These metrics that you want to track, so these are going to continue to evolve over time. The best way to know how to track these metrics in your company is, number one, get a mentor, right? So, a lot of companies like to have us come in and build all this out in their business for them. Or you can learn to do it yourself and just figure out what are the key actions that create the desired outcome. So what I like to do, I'll give you an example of making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, okay? When you go to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, what are all the different things that you want to do in order to make that peanut butter and jelly sandwich? If you know that, man, I gotta get bread, I know that I've gotta get my jelly, I know I gotta get my peanut butter, I know I gotta get a plate. Now you're making this peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? Now, as you're making this sandwich, you're starting to put peanut butter on, and you put jelly on the bread, and then you put it on the plate, and you would think it's done, right? Because that is your desired outcome, to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But if you want to continue to make that sandwich better, you start to figure out what are the proportions of peanut butter versus jelly. How do I like my bread? What type of bread, right? Do I want it toasted? Do I want it soft? Do I want it sourdough? Do I want it wheat? Do I want it white? Do I want the crust cut off? Do I want peanuts in my peanut butter? Do I want it smooth? Do I want jelly? Do I want strawberry? Do I want grape? So you see all these different variables that you can constantly test and combine in order to see what is going to create the desired outcome, and you can change one variable at a time based on your reaction to the desired outcome. And as you do this and you figure out what each of these steps are that you now start to track that are required to help you create that destination, your desired outcome, when you see where the gaps are in here, you're able to course correct, improve, thus enhance output. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Let's say that you have appointment setters on your team, right? And you're running ads, you have appointment setters. So if you were to come in and say, hey, we're not generating any revenue from this appointment setter on our team, and you want to replace them right away, that would be obviously the amateur move, right? what you want to look at is what are all the different metrics that lead up to them being defined as being successful in the role, which is of course are deals closing from the appointments that are set. And then you can reverse engineer every action back to the moment that they wake up. Okay, so the moment they wake up all the way to that appointment being set are the variables that you want to evaluate. Obviously, are they in the right headspace going into the day? That's habits and behaviors prior to ever stepping in the arena, aka the workplace. Are those things good? Because if stuff's going on in their life, I'm gonna let you know, and you should know this as a business owner, we don't have business problems, we got personal problems that bleed into business. Well, guess what? This might be a shocker to you, but sales reps are also human and they actually run into the same shit. So you wanna be able to evaluate if that's happening to them first. Next, you wanna get into, okay, do they have the tools necessary to actually execute what they're supposed to do? Do they have a CRM? Do they have a dialer? Do you want a local dialer? Do they have a sales script or appointment setting script? Do they know the avatar? Do they know the product? Like if they don't know any of these things, there's a really high likelihood that it's probably going to be a lesser performance than you'd like. For example, somebody that has a local dialer or an automated dialer is typically going to, by the nature of the ease in that tool, have a higher frequency of inputs, okay? Thus creating typically a better output, which in their case is the appointment being set. Then you can look at, okay, what are the words being said on the calls? Just because it's said on the script, the words are on the script doesn't mean that's how they're saying it, so you can do call reviews to optimize the way they say things and what they're saying. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it, right? Delivery. So I'm not gonna get any deeper into this, but these are all the different variables that lead up to creating the desired outcome. And if you do not know every single thing that makes up the desired outcome taking place, you don't know what to measure, you don't know what to optimize, and you're making decisions on emotion, which means you're typically gonna be wrong. There's a lot of things that don't need to be touched that you think need to be touched because it's the only thing you have awareness around. There's a lot of things that are working well that have a higher degree of potential that you can make 1% better. These are how you can enhance the output by knowing all the things you're measuring, and then over time, you'll be able to know, okay, of all the things being measured, how can I consolidate the metrics I wanna see and have these 1 or 2 metrics tell me the story around the performance of all of these micro metrics being managed, right? So those are macro and micro metrics. Macro is the bigger number that is consolidated to give you the micro story, right? And the micro numbers are all the actions being taken to create the destination or the desired output. So this is the paprika effect, y'all, and not adding too much paprika to the pie. And you can't know that unless you know all the things that are being added into that pie to be able to know what could have made it go wrong. By now you should know, okay, how important is tracking? Clearly a lot. What do I track? Go back to whatever it is that you're trying to create a desired output, and that comes from every position. So if you hire for a position, that position should be there in order to create some type of desired output within the organization. Figure out what that is, what are all the necessary steps within creating that desired outcome, list them out, start to measure them, and then start to figure out which are the things that are actually the most important things to be tracking, and then make that your macro number that you could watch from a management perspective. This will allow you to hire a manager to manage the micro numbers with that team member. So hope this was helpful, y'all, and I will see you guys on the next video. We'll put a link around this if you want to contact us to obviously help us do this for you in your business. And outside of that, I'll catch you on the next training.